Hey guys, it's Chris again, and this week's review week, almost said react week, but that was last week. Hope you guys enjoyed that. So this week's review week, so I'm gonna do, I didn't know what to review. So the day of filming anyway, turns out the new Spider-Man trailer came out, and this isn't react, we've done react. I've seen the trailer already, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down the trailer today and like review it as such. So it's more of a breakdown, but a review breakdown. Here we go.
The Spider-Man Far From Home trailer is about to play, but if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame yet, stop watching because there's some serious spoilers about to come up. But if you have seen Avengers Endgame, enjoy the...
Listen to Tom, listen to my man, right? You don't want to watch this if you've not seen Endgame, because there are, within the first 5 to 10 seconds, there's huge spoilers. The man is not wrong, so do watch Endgame first. Endgame, icing on the cake for the past 11 years now. But yeah, it's, what a film. So,
trailer.
Here we go.
Everywhere I go, I see his face.
Just like my man says.
Just really miss him.
So this is the very last spoiler warning because I'm about to talk about it. So this film starts minutes after Endgame. Minutes. Well, that's what they've said. Like pretty much straight away. So he's still got his Iron Spider suit. That thing. It's great. So obviously he's missing Iron Man because rip.
I miss him too. I don't think Tony would have done what he did if he didn't know that you were going to be here after he was gone.
So that to me, it's setting up that Peter's going to be the new Iron Man. Like, it looks like he's going to be the guy that fills Iron Man's boots, becomes the new Iron Man. Not replacing him, because obviously everyone loves Spider-Man. They don't want Spider-Man not to be Spider-Man, but someone to fill his shoes, be that kind of Avenger, that like big role model. And I think that's a really good idea. Because I know in one of the comic series, Peter Parker, when he's a bit older, he's like Parker Industries, you know, how like Stark Industries. So it looks like they're going in that kind of direction, which I really like, because Spider-Man is my fave. It's on after Endgame.
You gonna be the next Iron Man now?
Well, no, I don't have time. I'm too busy doing your jobs.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Look, keep up the good work because I am going on vacation.
And this sets up Far From Home, because we already know he goes to Venice and I think Czech Republic and London in the film. So we know it's a field trip. So his vacation is this field trip. So, I don't know. He's basically leaving New York for a while. And is that the policeman? So you're the next Iron Man? He doesn't want to be, but I think they're setting that up.
Heads up. Nick Fury's calling.
Got to pause and speak on this copyright.
I don't really want to talk to Nick Fury. Why?
Because if you don't talk to him, then I have to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him.
So Nick Fury knows who Spider-Man is now. Obviously, we might see something before this scene. But if you notice, he's still wearing his Iron Spider suit, so he's obviously not on holiday, on vacation yet. Obviously, Fury
You sent
wants
Nick Fury the
Spider-Man
voicemail?
for
I
gotta
something,
go.
but
You
we
do
don't know
not
it yet.
dose Nick Fury.
What up, dorks? What's up? We're just talking about the trip.
I'm here in St. Marco Polo's.
Oh, I think...
So that was the Flash character, you know, Penis Parker from the first one. So Flash is back, MJ's back. So I think at this point, after the snap and stuff, from Infinity War, the snap that dusted everyone, I think we've got to assume that the snap that Hulk did to bring everyone back in Endgame, all of these characters were snapped out at the same time, because it's set 5 years in the future. You couldn't have Peter getting snapped out and then MJ not. It wouldn't make sense. So it looks like we just have to assume that all the characters have come back in now to the same point.
MJ really likes me.
I remember when I first fell in love.
Oh, Ned.
You're a very difficult person to contact, Spider-Man.
So that's obviously throwing it back to Peter putting him through to voicemail, which I thought was great, because It's Fury. He gets his own way eventually, so he's obviously followed him to what I think they're in Venice still. I'm assuming they're still in Venice at this point, but we won't know for sure until we're watching the film. Gotta be in Venice.
This is Mr. Beck.
Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio. I am so glad they decided to do Mysterio. He's one of my favorites from like the comics, cartoons, the games. He's so good. So looks like they're going with the story arc of him. See, now I think I'm gonna call a lot of the film right now, because in their old trailer there was a lot of the elemental people like look like Sandman, but I don't think it is, and there would look like Hydro Man, but I don't think it is. I think because Quentin Beck is very, very, very good with special effects. He used to work in Hollywood, and that was how he sort of does all these powers, if you like. So he looks like he's infiltrated.
We could have used someone like you on my world.
Your world?
Beck is from Earth, just not ours. The snap tore a hole in our dimension.
So that's a very interesting line there. The snap tore a hole in our dimension. So if anyone's seen Into the Spider-Verse, that would be a really good example of how it happened. Because in that film, they have this this sort of well, I can't remember what they call it now, but it's this thing that basically lets you go through it and pull things from other dimensions or alternate realities, which is why you get all different versions of Spider-Man in that film. So this one, if they're going that way with a film, they're saying that Quentin Beck has come from another alternate timeline, which is how they explained Endgame, saying that when they went back in time and did something, it wouldn't change their present, it'd only spiral off. Ancient One describes it really well in the film. It'd spiral off into a new timeline. So sounds like that could be what they're doing here. So he's come through into our timeline, our Earth.
You're
He might
saying there's
be
a
faking the
multiverse?
whole thing.
You have a job to do.
It's
You're
very
coming with
self
us.
speculation. See, this is where I think Hydro Man is.
There's gotta be someone
It's
else who
Hydro
can
Man.
use. What about Thor?
Off-world.
Captain Marvel?
Unavailable.
So he's just basically trying to figure out why he shouldn't be doing it. Nick Fury wants him to be this lead, but he's obviously thinking of excuses. So Captain Marvel off-world, Thor isn't on-world.
But I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
So that was a stealth suit. It's his all-black suit. It's a stealth suit. We don't know really what it does in this film, but it's got like I think one of them had camo. One of them had like an active camo. So it'd be sick if they brought the active camo in, but we've not seen anything of that yet in any of the trailers. It's got a few suits in this.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
Bitch, please.
What do you want, Peter?
I want to go back on my trip with the girl who I really like and tell her how.
So this confirms that Peter does like MJ. I mean, you knew it was coming, but now we've confirmed it. It's like, yes, he wants that MJ.
MJ,
I'm Spider-Man.
no, of course I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
See, that one's a really difficult one because we know MJ eventually finds out, but they aren't really together or anything yet. So obviously she's the kind of character that's, you know, she's smart, but she doesn't give anything away. She keeps everything to herself. We saw that in the first Spider-Man film. She was on the ball with everything, and she knew exactly what was going on. But if she does know he is Spider-Man, she might just be playing him. I think she's playing him, and she's just seeing a reaction. But it could be interesting if she does know, because if there's someone that would pick it out, going off her character that we've seen, I reckon she could.
You're right, you may not be ready, but this is my responsibility.
That then.
Saving the world requires sacrifice. Sometimes people die.
We know that. Saving the world requires sacrifice. Sometimes people die. Now, whether he's just telling him this to make Peter believe that he's got a bigger job to do than himself, or he's calling it back to Iron Man. Obviously, Iron Man knew that. So I think it is calling back to Iron Man. That's what I believe. I think that's he's obviously having a hard time. Like, he's not ready for that. But he's saying that to save people, that's the kind of sacrifice if he wants to do this.
I just always feel like I'm putting my friends in danger.
True he is. But that's what makes Spider-Man so good. Most of Spider-Man's villains have a personal connection to him, and that's what makes it interesting. That's why Vulture worked really well. He was, you know, his love interest's parent. So near enough every villain that Spider-Man has some kind of connection to him. So his friends are usually in danger, which makes a lot of sense because he's, you know, they know who he is, so they know who they are.
The world needs the next Iron Man.
I'm liking where this is going. The world needs the next Iron Man. We don't need another Iron Man. We just need the next person to put in his boots. Spider-Man is that man.
Are you going to step up or not?
Stealth suit again in full action there. I think that's one of my favourite suits of the film. It's kind of like you'd see old school spies wear. You know, like it looks like a knitted jumper and goggles. It looks quite similar to his original suit with the goggles, so maybe they've took inspiration from that. Nice to see a Quinjet. So this is London, that's just next to Tower Bridge. So obviously they've flown a Quinjet in. That's his class right there. I'm not sure who the blonde person is, we don't really know yet. Obviously you know that's MJ, Flash and Ned. But we don't know who the blonde is, whether that's just some random girl in his class or she takes up a bigger role. We've not seen her yet, so... Or maybe she's someone that didn't get snapped, that's now 5 years older, so she gets put in the class.
Who are you? I work with Spider-Man.
You work for Spider-Man?
I work with Spider-Man, not for Spider-Man. New plan.
Safe to say I am very excited for this film. July the 2nd, hopefully I get it a bit earlier in the UK. Sometimes we do. But it's definitely on my to watch list. If you've got any questions about the film or about anything Marvel, leave a comment, because I know everything. Like, I know way too much about this stuff. I've seen all the TV shows, I've seen all the films. I don't even know. I got you covered. So if you want to see anything like this, just let me know. And comment if you got any questions about it, or if you got any speculations yourself, because I'd like to know. I'd like to know what you guys are thinking. Comment, like, subscribe, hit those push notifications on, and be sure to check out the rest of the guys' videos this week if you haven't already. And I will see you next week. See you later.